Back again, guys. Another video. We're talking about how the narcissist got managed to get you so good, right? Well, we're gonna jump right into this. When we think about, many of you have seen uh, the actor. If you haven't seen it, you may have heard of how a charmer is able to. There's individuals that deal with snakes, right? There's snake handlers and these cobras, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of that. The cobra is seduced and charmed into being uh, distracted, at least enough for the charmer to handle the deadly venomous cobra without the cobra fully attacking it and harming the charmer, right? And when we look at charm and we think about, a charming effect, being seduced, almost being like put under a trance to where you normally would react in a certain way and either ward off or completely leave alone the individual, you still manage to be entertained as the charmer entertains the cobra, to where the cobra is kind of like in a daze, not acting itself. The cobra is usually not going to allow an individual to get that close to it to gain its attention without it attacking that person. But the charmer somehow manages to distract the cobra and uh, neutralize its abilities to defend itself, essentially. Well, that's kind of how the narcissist operates in many ways. They get into the minds of individuals to where the person is unable to pick up on the cues that are really uh, harmful sometimes to them, or to say the least, they're not beneficial to the person, because the narcissist is using, manipulating, and controlling the subject while the person is kind of going along in a daze, confused, almost like disoriented. A lot of you when you're with the narcissist, you experience a lot of that confusion, because it was from the very beginning of the narcissist charming the individual to the point where the individual goes into another state of viewing or seeing or perceiving the narcissist from that point. So the perception of the narcissist, instead of being this person who is full of shit, basically, and deceptive, manipulative, and a lot of these things are really so blatant in front of us. If we think about this, guys, a lot of this stuff is blatant. But while we're in this state of being seduced and charmed by these individuals who are very charming, we don't see it. We see it, but we don't see it. It's like our reaction and wanting to fully disengage, we almost can't. And going back to the example of the snake handler and the cobra, you'll notice the cobra still is dangerous. It's still deadly. It knows it will strike if the snake handler makes certain moves, which goes outside of the charming effect that it's having on the cobra. So the snake isn't all the way fooled, but the charmer has enough of its attention distracted in a certain way to where the snake is still it's pretty much in that point it's not effective, to the point where the charmer can actually grab the cobra, take hold of it, and take it captive. This is kind of how it works with the narcissist. That charm, how they got you, was from the charming effect. The individual who always has the time for you, where you can do no wrong in their eyes. Oh, they're giving you all the compliments in the world. They're making you feel as though you're the only person that exists, right? You're being seduced. You're being charmed right before your very own eyes. And you never see it coming. And now the narcissist becomes the handler of you, manipulating you into believing, seeing, and thinking things in which do not exist from the narcissist, right? So, to sum this up, you're basically dealing with an individual who's managed to seduce you into a different state of consciousness, into a different state of perception, mainly regarding them. And at this point, your own brain works against you to keep the entertainment of the charmer going, because it is mesmerized at this point. And so while you're in that state, a dreamlike state, when you are awakened to find out that this act, this entertainment that was going on was not real at all. And it's like coming back into yourself after being taken out of yourself and handled by someone who had not a care of how they handled you, while they managed to basically rob, steal your attention, your mind for that moment, or whatever period of time. It's charm. It's seduction. That is how they get you. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support to all of you. Continue to support and listen. A lot of you been asking me about consultations. Yes, I'm doing consultations now. If you want any questions or anything like that answered, best way is to go through a consultation, which you can go to the website www.asscgroup.com. You can email me at asscdirect@gmail. Also, a lot of this stuff, guys, if you check out my documentary, Departure of Empathy, a lot of stuff I break down in there about how narcissists operate. There's a lot of visual examples in there too with the dramatizations. So definitely a good thing to get a hold of too. But anyway, guys, like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Slide on over to my Instagram. Check me out there at ASSC Direct. Make sure you follow. Until next time, guys, have a good one.